Hello, my loves. Welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Deanna. This is Faith and Fragrance, where we talk about all the things that I love the most. And that is my love for fragrances and my love for Jesus Christ, okay? And today we have a lineup of some beast mode Middle Eastern fragrances, okay? These are fragrances that are loud, they fill up rooms, they project. When you walk into a room and you walk out, the fragrance is still in the room, those type of fragrances. So, with that being said, if that is of interest to you, please stick around and we're gonna get into it, okay? All right, y'all, today, first of all, I went back to work this week and this is ghetto. I'm just gonna say it's ghetto. Now, here's the thing. I do not hate my job, okay? This is one of the most tolerable jobs I've ever had, to be honest. I am, and for those of you who don't know, I am a CPA, and during my 9 to 5, I do internal audit. I am a manager at a Fortune 500 company in internal audit, and so this is my busy season. And to be honest, I had a little nervousness going into this busy season, given that I've created this new channel and I had the nerve to want to add to my other existing personal brand channel where I just talk about careers and finding meaningful work. And the reason being is because that's been something that has been a struggle for me all my life. And when I am miserable in a job, it's not just oh, I hate Mondays. Oh, I can't stand my manager. Oh, life is just blah. Oh, life is ghetto. It's not that for me. When I hate my job, I'm literally contemplating, why should I wake up tomorrow? Like, it gets that bad for me. And I just felt like, is it just me? Is there something wrong with me? Like, why is it this impactful to me? And I don't know if it's because I struggle with ADHD tendencies, if you will, or if it's because I am someone who is so purpose driven, or that because I've struggled with depression and unaliving tendencies and ideations in the past. And I just got real deep out of nowhere. Y'all just came for some fragrances. My bad. I do that sometimes. I be working on it. Sometimes I just be like, we be laughing and kicking by the beach and then everybody's and I'm like, yeah. When I was 6 years old, my teacher called me the ugliest girl in the room. And everybody's just like, okay. Yeah, I'm like one of those type of people. So I be having to prep people, my bad. So I didn't mean to throw that onto y'all real quick. But I'm just saying that that's how serious it gets for me when it comes to like careers and stuff like that. So when I finally started to play around, I've been someone who's hopped around jobs like forever. I've tried different things. I've tried entrepreneurship. I tried a lot of different things. And so I finally figured out what it is that makes me tick. And it's really at the core is like purpose. It's like helping people find their purpose, encouraging people to pursue purpose. And so for me, fragrances has been one of the things that has uplifted my mood and that has gave me like, like some type of thing to look forward to doing and to be consistent in. And so that's why I want to do this. But then I also feel like I want to build up my personal brand and talk about that which is meaningful to me as well. And so I don't know, like I think I'm doing the most. And I don't want to burn out. So I may have to be realistic. And I feel myself getting so tired. So I have to be realistic and probably scale back, but let you guys know when, like I may post a long form every other week and then keep it short form in between those weeks. I don't know. We're going to play around. And so expect to see some changes in my schedule. Expect to see some things as I'm trying to figure out what works, because last year around this time when I was dealing with busy season, I burnt myself out and I was in the hospital. like looking like, how did I get here? And I don't want that for me this year, especially those bills. They still hitting me up to this day, and I ain't got time for it, okay? So I really want to be intentional about managing my energy and not thinking that I can do it all, yet still managing, still flowing in purpose. Because when I'm not, I get into this thing, this mood, this funk that is not good for anybody. And so I really believe that God put it in me. He made me like this for a reason. I believe that he put something in me to give out and to pour into the world. And so I just want to live the fullest life that I can while we still have breath in our lungs. So that's my soapbox. Let me get into these fragrances, because my camera be overheating for no dang reason. And I don't know if it's because I got the cheapest Sony ZV-1 that I could find. For y'all who do this thing for a living and you know about cameras, let me know what's my problem in life. Let me know, because this is ghetto. And let's just go into the fragrances. Jeez, because yeah. All right, so first on this list is none other than Teriaq Intense by Lattafa. Okay, now Teriaq. Girl. Girl, she is sweetening up. She getting real grown on you, girl. She getting feisty. Oh, but it's just this beautiful plum, spicy plum, ambery scent that's just in your face. It just comes out like, I'm here, and what? What you trying to do? Like, it really comes off like that, but it's elegant at the same time. It's smooth, it's elegant. It is spicy though. So if you don't like it spicy, I don't know. But this one it comes with a presence. And the projection on this thing is boom, 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 boom. Like, people are gonna smell you and you're going to smell nice. Like, this one, I would not wear this to the office because it is loud, in my opinion. Now, and then here's the thing. Beast mode is very subjective depending on what is your taste, what is your love. But this one for me, oh, Lord, the sillage, the lingering scent. My best friend calls it your walk by scent. Yeah, your scent trail. Girl. But yeah, it leaves a scent trail for sure. And so yeah, this one is number one on my list. Let me tell y'all what the notes are, okay? It opens up with top notes of saffron and bergamot. Okay, middle notes of plum liqueur. Okay, cinnamon. Base notes of amber, tonka bean, and benzoin. I really think it's the benzoin in here that gives it that aromatic, like, in your face, that makes it project. So if you know what benzoin smells like, that kind of effect that it brings to fragrances, and you can imagine a boozy plum opening with that saffron, that's what you're getting with this fragrance. Beautiful. Chef's kiss. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, if you are no stranger to this channel, you already know which one I'm about to talk about. And that is none other than Her Confession by Lataffa. Matter of fact, one day I'm gonna have to just do a Lattafa, because Lattafa is she getting right by this lineup, okay? Her Confession. Her Confession is a dupe of Blanche Bet by Liquid Imaginaire, liquid something, okay? Okay, this one is a creamy, milky, beautiful, magical scent. It just does something to me. I don't know why. Now, this one is very lactonic. So, if you are not into lactonic scents, this one may make you want to throw up. I'm just warning you, because it's loud. It's a quiet loud, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? It's like one of those where it seems like it would be soft, but it fills up a room. If you've listened to any of my videos, you already know. I wore this to the dentist. I was in the back of the dentist's office, in the room, getting my teeth cleaned, but they was doing some ungodly type of things to my teeth. It was just not right. But anyway, the person from the front of the office who was at the front desk comes back to the office when I'm talking. I'm in mid, trying to get it together with the hygienist and all of that, with my dang there drooling. She's like, what do you have on? Because I smelt you from back there and I need to know right now. She pulled out her phone. I hooked her up. She said, say less. Bought that right then and there. That's how beast mode this is. And you would never think it, because it's like it's a smooth scent. So if you're not careful, you would think it's like a skin bubble, but it's not. It's in your face. It's there. So yeah, her confession, chef's kiss, one of my faves. Mind you, there are other dupes to this fragrance. The other one is what is it called? The Divina Lactea Divina one. Some of you may like that one more than this. I think that one is even more beast mode than this. But for me, in my house, we will bow her confession. Reason being is because that one is actually too loud and cloying for me. So this one is more airy to me, in my opinion. So that's it. Let's move on to the next one. This next one was the talk of the town about, I would say 2 years ago. I would say everybody was in their feelings about this one. This one is none other than Club de Nuit Imperiale. Okay, this one is what they call a dupe or inspired by fragrance of Delina Exclusive. In my opinion, this is more of a mix of Delina and Delina Exclusive. Reason being is because when it opens, you're still gonna get that very tart, almost rhubarb smelling note, but it's more lychee for sure, and you will get that intensity, but it's not as powdery as Delina Exclusive. Delina Exclusive has a powdery kind of feel to it. This is giving more juicy, so you're getting that lychee juice, real juicy, like in this one. But this one, when I first got it, I ain't know no better. I was new to fragrances. I sprayed it and I said, listen, I got it on. Immediately went nose blind. Immediately. I didn't know it. I didn't know there was a such thing. So I say, I want somebody to smell me today. I got to be careful when I do that, because I don't be knowing what I asked for. So I said, I want to be smelled. So I sprayed myself down until I could get a whiff of something. I get into the car and I immediately knew I made a mistake, because I could not breathe in my own car. I had to wind down the windows, and I said, that's when I knew, I think I messed up. I was regretting my life at that moment. I was regretting my life decisions at that moment. I go to Kava because I'm hungry. Walk into the Kava. If you ever been to a Kava, you know it's giving like Chipotle, but almost bigger. Like it's a little bit longer, in my opinion, than Chipotle. Some of them, I don't know. It's about the same size. It's giving Chipotle. So you know how there's usually a line to the side where people are waiting. It's kind of like you mix your food, you ask for a bowl, and you put in your own ingredients. That layout, same thing Chipotle, right? So there's a line, and then you can see the people in the back cooking in the back kitchen, but you're at least 50 feet away from these people, if not more, when you walk from the front door to the back of the restaurant, if not 100 feet, right? Soon as I open the door, I walk in, I see the chefs in the back, the kitchen cooks in the back, heads go up. I said, okay, I wonder what's going on. Is there somebody coming in behind me that I need to be prepared for? I'm getting a little nervous. I get to the front of the line where they ask me. Now, mind you, those foods are very fragrant. And I would imagine that in the kitchen it's more fragrant from the foods you're cooking. I get to the front of the line. These people said, we could smell you from the time you entered this restaurant. I said, oh, my bad. They say you smell good though. I got a compliment, but girl, I immediately went home and washed myself some good washing. Still could smell it on my skin after the shower. And I showered good. I don't be out here dirty. I shower good. Still could smell myself. And then on my clothes, at least good. I think after the first wash it was okay, but my hamper still smelled like this one. My coat smells like this one the whole time. Starbucks know what this one smells. Not because I be spraying it on, but because it stayed on my coat all winter. Should I say more? Matter of fact, I didn't give y'all, first of all, let me give y'all the notes to this, because let me do right. Let me stay focused. The notes to Club de Nuit Imperiale is, it opens up with top notes of lychee, bergamot, nutmeg, middle notes of Turkish rose, peony, musk, and vanilla, and base notes of cashmere, cedar, incense, and vetiver. And while I'm at it, I forgot to give y'all the notes to her confession. Please forgive me. So I'm just gonna tell y'all right now. If you can imagine what that one was again. It opens up with top notes of mystical accord. Whatever mystical is mysticaling. All right, cinnamon. Middle notes of tuberose, jasmine, incense, mahonial, and base notes of vanilla, tonka bean, and musk. So that's that for that one. Let's move on to this next one because we got a few more on this list. So the next one on this list is Bade'e Rose Blush. Now, this whole line, let me just say this. This whole line, if you are familiar with this line of fragrances, I don't believe they're dupes for anything. Not that I think. No, some of them be duping. They be trying to dupe the Initio fragrances, I think. Or is it the other ones? The Oud of Greatness? I don't remember. Y'all know. But some of them are duping that. I don't know if this one dupes anything. But this whole line is beast mode. This whole line is Nuck If You Buck. So much to the point that I had to declutter my other fragrance from this line because it was just that loud. However, my best friend had the nerve to call me yesterday and said, guess what? I said, what? She said, that fragrance that you gave me, I said, what about it? She said, it got me compliments from men, women, multiple compliments in a day. They kept stopping me to give me compliments. I said, I might need that one back. She said, no, it smell nasty. Don't worry about the fact, I ain't say that. Don't worry about it. It's cool. I was really contemplating maybe I should go back to her house and, snatch that thing back. But anyways, we're here for Noble Blush. Okay. So, Rose Blush opens up with top notes of rose milk, middle notes of merengue almond, base notes of vanilla, sandalwood, and musk. This one is the creamiest rose vanilla fragrance I've ever smelled in my life. Love it. Instant love. It's giving powdery. It's giving the rose. You're really getting that rose milk. It's lactonic, but not like a sickening lactonic, in my opinion. It's not like a super, it's almost like a powdery milk. I don't know, like milk powder, like rose milk powder. If you can imagine what that would smell like, that's what this one is giving to me. So it's just a feminine but in your face type of fragrance. It will punch you down. It's loud. And so sometimes with this one, you gotta be careful. Like how I just sprayed too. I should never did that. I should never did that. Because with this one, you don't need too many sprays. I had the nerve to try to spray myself down and wear it to work. Inconsiderate. I had no business doing that. But this one, definitely. If you're looking for a creamy, sweet, milky rose, this one is your girl. And then I had the nerve to layer it. What did I layer it the other day that got my whole entire life in order? I forgot what I layered it with, but it was gorgeous. When I tell you, oh, it was the Vanille Blanc. The Vanille Blanc one that just came out. I layered it with this one. I was in lactonic vanilla sweet rose heaven. Amazing. Let's move on to the next one before we run out of power. Okay, so the next one on this list is an oldie, but a goodie. And that one is none other than Shaghaf Oud by Swiss Arabian. Now, this one is, I think, the original one in the line. They have another one that is the elixir. I actually like the elixir more than this one because it's smoothed it out. It has the same note structure, if you will, same idea, same ingredients, but it's just more smoothed out. And so that's why I decided to talk about this one, because of the two, this one is definitely louder. Like this one gets me compliments. The other one, it smells good to me. This one smells good to everybody smelling me, if that makes sense. Let me get into these notes so that y'all get a feel for what I'm talking about. So, Shaghaf Oud by Swiss Arabian opens up with top notes of saffron, so very saffron heavy scent. Middle notes of agarwood or oud, rose. Base notes of agarwood, oud, praline, and vanilla. So very simple, basic note structure. You're going to smell each and every one of those smells, those ingredients, those notes in this fragrance. You're going to get the saffron. You're going to get the oud. So if you're not an oud lover, this may not be for you. You're going to get that rose. You're going to get a hint of that rose. You're going to get that praline and vanilla. The praline in this is what makes this so addicting. This one is loud though, and that oud do be ouding. So if you are not an oud person, this will not be a safe blind buy for you. But as it settles into the dust, it gives you this pretty sweet, think about a candied rose saffron fragrance that get a little punch in the background, that gives it a little grounding. Beautiful, sweet fragrance. I get a lot of compliments on this one. And I think, again, it's because it's very loud. It's in your face. This one, I haven't been wearing as much because it is very loud. And so I got to be in the mood for it. Like sometimes saffron heavy fragrances can make me a little bit more nauseous. So kind of like how lactonic fragrances make some people nauseous, that's the same effect that I get with saffron heavy fragrances. So I have to be careful with this one, but it's a beautiful fragrance. Some say that it is a clone or a dupe, or it's going to remind you of Oud Bouquet by Lancome. I have not smelled that fragrance to let you know if that's what this is giving, but that's what they said on the word on the street was that's what it was giving. I say get your nose on it. It's a beautiful fragrance. And if I know I want to make an appearance, if I want to show up, like for example, if I want to go to some type of event and I want everybody to know I'm there, this is the one I'm pulling for. Let's move on to the next one. All right, so the next one on the list. This one was the one in 2025 that had everybody in the streets duking it up, throwing hands, snatching wigs, lace, gone, edges, gone, Vaseline, greased up. Everybody was knucking iffy buck over this fragrance. And if you know, then you know. This is none other than Vanilla Aura by Maison Asrar. Now, the reason why this one is hitting this beast mode list is because this one is loud. It's in your face. It lingers. It snatches on and holds on tight. It never lets go. Oh, just like my Jesus loves me so. Okay, I'm done. I'm back. It's something about this fragrance that as it sweetens up, as it like matures and gets grown up in the world, it's just so, it's the caramel, I think. It's the caramel. Let me give you the notes. The notes are, it opens up with top notes of bergamot, lemon, and lily of the valley. Middle heart notes of caramel, vanilla, and chocolate. And base notes of amber, sandalwood, tonka, and vanilla. This one is definitely the caramel, vanilla, chocolate mixed with the tonka and all the other stuff, the lily of the valley. It's something about it. Now, if you're no stranger to this channel, you know how I describe this one is giving Dr. Pepper. So that's the easiest way I can put you in the mind frame of what this smells like. But think of it like the syrupy Dr. Pepper. Like, have you ever worked at a restaurant and you know for the fountain drinks, they have the syrups in the back that they mix with the seltzer water, and so you want to get that mix just right. So think of this as the Dr. Pepper before it got mixed with the seltzer water, if that makes sense. So that Dr. Pepper syrup. But, in the most elegant, refined, perfumey, cute way. I don't know. It may not make sense. I may be actually describing this in a way that's like, y'all probably like, there's no way. But to me, it does me right. I never smelled Vanilla Planifolia to compare it to this, but I would never do that. I want Vanilla Planifolia one day when my coins get up and my debt get paid off. But in the meantime, I love this fragrance. Not everyone is gonna love it, but I love it. So that's that. Let's move on to the next one. The next one on this list is the one that will have people turning heads when you walk into the room, and that is none other than Abiyehd Scarlet by Lattafa. All right, so Abiyehd Scarlet. This one I gotta, double Dutch in, if you will. So Abiyehd Scarlet is what they call a dupe or a clone or whatever you want to call it, inspired by Louis Vuitton's Fetisha La Rose. I have not smelled that fragrance as well, but this one is a very alluring scent. It's loud, it's in your face. You are a confident woman with a banging body and you dress to the T's. To me, this is like woman in the red dress. Like, red is appropriate for this one. I'm trying to think of how to describe this one in a way that I haven't described this one before, okay? So be easy with me in the comments. But if I was to put a picture to what this fragrance is giving, I'll just pop it up right here. All right, don't drag me in the comments. We're not going to talk about it right here. We're not going to talk about it. But if you want to get into it, we can get into it. No, we ain't going to get into it this channel, okay? We keeping it safe. We keeping it above board. We not talking about these peoples around here and these first ladies. We just going to keep it above board. And we going to talk about Abiyehd Scarlet. Let's talk about the notes while we at it. Okay, Abiyehd Scarlet opens up with top notes of black cherry, pink pepper, so spicy in the front. Like, girl. And she's not the regular cherry, she's the black cherry. All right, let's get back on track. Middle notes of white rose, peony, tonka bean, nutmeg. Base notes of patchouli, crystal caramel sugar and vanilla. This one, she's sweet. She's got body, okay? She is sensual. Yeah, this one, I wore it to church and had to repent. It was real rough. I wouldn't do it again. I would not recommend. I was gonna say something real rude, but we gonna move on. Okay, let's move on to the next one before I get in trouble out here in these streets. All right, so the next one on my list is one that I have not heard anybody talk about. I've never even heard of this fragrance house or brand, but I was in the Middle Eastern fragrance store here in Houston, and they were like, have you smelled vanilla powder? And I was like, no, but it's on my wish list. And they were like, let me show you one that smells just like vanilla powder. And I went over and they pulled out this girl right here, which is Vanilla Power by Aura Fragrances. Okay, so it's quite clear who she's duping, but when I tell you, she's almost spot on. Cause immediately after I went and got this one, cause when I smelled this, I was like, is this vanilla powder smells? Oh, ring me up, ring me up, ring me up. And then I went to the store and I smelled the original vanilla powder, and I was like, they come close. They come close. I think this one is actually maybe a tad bit sweeter. The original vanilla powder smells a little bit more fresher or powdier than this one. But this one has a sweet, sugary opening that I like more than the vanilla powder, and it's loud. That's why it's beast mode here. Like, typically, I don't know if people would put vanilla powder in beast mode category. I don't know. But this one is loud to me because when I spray this on and I go to work and I'm choking myself out and other people out, I'm like, yeah, this one, I my bad. Because this one, just like her confession, it has these notes that you would think would be chill. Like, you think that they chill, but they really screaming at you and you ain't even know. That's really what this one is giving, but I love it so much so that I went out and got me the vanilla powder extract. We gonna talk about that one day, but this whole scent profile got my whole life together. Love it. Let's move on to the next one. Oh, before we do that, let me give y'all the fragrance notes for this one. This one opens up with top notes of vanilla, heart notes of gourmand notes or gourmand accords, and base notes of amber and musk. Yeah, I couldn't find no other fragrance notes other than that. So yeah, but just know it's giving vanilla powder by Matiere. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. So this one is one that kept, and when I mean kept, I mean kept coming up in the comments. Not only was it coming up in the comments, but I kept hearing Curleen talk about it. And so I said, okay, enough with it. I need to go try it out for myself. And when I did, I said, yeah, she's on the to buy list for sure. And that is none other than Artisan Ethnique by Lattafa. Now, this one is a part of Lataffa Pride's collection. And immediately when I sprayed this actually puts me in the same mindset as vanilla powder. But this one is just a little bit more beast mode. This one is a little bit more in your face. This one is a little bit more spicy for some reason to my nose. I don't even know if it has spices in it. Let me read y'all the notes. Oh, it does. It opens up with top notes of rum, cinnamon, sugar, middle notes of caramel, cacao, coffee, oak moss, and base notes of vanilla, cashmere wood, tonka bean, and labdanum. Now, that one, just think of vanilla powder, but add that cinnamon at the top with that rum note and at the bottom add those woody notes. Like, that's what I'm getting from this. Now, apparently this is supposed to be inspired by fragrance of Sugar Addict, I believe, but I've never smelled that one either. But this one is definitely, it's so yummy and in your face at the same time. So that's why for me, I have to be careful with this one too, because this one will choke you out. But at the same time, it's just such a beautiful, like, nice scent. It's really sugary sweet. Think sugary woods. It's almost gonna put you in that same mindset or mind frame of the Vanille Blancs of the world. It does not smell like Vanille Blanc, but it's definitely going to put you in that arena. This one, yeah, you're definitely going to get those spices. You're going to get that boozy. You're going to get the caramel, the tonka bean. Yeah, and that base is giving something woody, a little bit, tad bit leathery from the lab denim. But yeah, love this one. Let's move on to the final fragrance on this list. So the final one on this list is one that is an inspired by fragrance of one of the greatest perfume releases to ever hit the market, dare I say. Yeah, I said it. I said it. And that is none other than Mahab by Nusuk. Duping your faves, Guidance and Guidance 46. If you know, you know. When I first of all, let me tell y'all something. When I first got my nose on Guidance, I did not understand it. I was confused. I was like, why? I'm like thinking the way that people are ranting and raving about this fragrance, I'm just thinking, this gotta be the best smelling fragrance to ever hit this world. Oh my God, and I'm getting my hopes up. I'm like, it's gonna be vanilla-y, it's gonna be incensey, it's gonna smell so good. And so I get there and I spray it. I get to one of them counters where they got Guidance out and I spray it and I said, oh, what? I said, what? I was real confused. I was like, this can't be what these people are talking about. Like, I just don't understand. And so I was real bothered by this. Now, when the day goes on and I had the tester strip, I kept getting a whiff of something good, but I was not putting my mind to that fragrance, right? I was like, what is that smell? But I couldn't figure it out because in my mind, what I smelled was the most like fragrance in the world. Like, I just wanted to get it off of me. But then when the fragrance strip was lingering around in my house, now mind you, it had my house smelling like Guidance for literally a whole month. Like, that fragrance tester strip was smelling up my whole house for at least a month, right? And I was like hearing people again rant or rave about Guidance. And so I was like, I gotta get my nose on it again because I just, maybe I had a bad day. Maybe I need to try it on a skin when I ain't got no fragrance on that day. Let me give it another try. So then I sprayed on my skin again and I'm just like, nah, this ain't it. I don't get it. And again, later on through the day, my clothes are smelling like something good. And again, I'm not associating it with that fragrance. Third time, I go. And then that time was the time it clicked. I said, oh, I get it now. I get it. And then next thing you know, once I associated the opening with the dry down, that made me like the opening because I think it classically conditioned me to the dry down. I don't know. If you know, you know. If you into psychology, tell me what's going on. Tell me in the comments. Because somehow the association, once they got clinked together, it started like making me salivate over this fragrance. Now, for me, I was not ready to spend $400 or $500 for that said fragrance. So I said, we need a dupe. And so immediately I'm like looking for dupes. Now I saw there was another one out there. I didn't see good reviews about it, so I said whatever. I'm not gonna mess with that one. Then there was another one that was like Bain Azrin Alzar or something like that. You know what I know. And so Sharita M was ranting and raving about that one, so I got that one. So that one gave me the opening of it, but it was like it was still giving a fresher version. Like it didn't give me that dry down, and that dry down, the body in that dry down and the complexity in that dry down is what makes that fragrance that fragrance. So for me, it was a big disappointment, even though I still liked it. It was cute, but it wasn't something I was pulling for all the time. But then I heard about this one, and I said, I'm about to go and find out about this one. So I went to the Middle Eastern store. I sprayed this one out. Immediately I said, this is guidance. This is guidance. And sure enough, I sprayed that thing on a strip. I took it home. That strip was smelling very guidance strip like. Just it reminded me of the first strip. Now it didn't last as long. It gave me like a week. But listen, $40 for it to last for a week. I had to get it. I had to get it. And then what I did was I went and I bought a sample of Guidance 46 to try it out, to compare it to this one, to see if I really wanted to get the original or not. And so I sprayed that one on and I was like, no, I'm sticking with the dupe because this is not different enough, or I'm not loving it enough for me to spend that coin when I have this. Now, when I got to the dry down of Guidance 46, my mind changed a little bit. And I said, oh, we might need to try this one out. But in the meantime, this is doing what that one was supposed to do. So let me read y'all the notes so that we can bring this sermon to a close. Okay, so this one opens up with top notes of red fruits, incense, and fennel. Middle notes of osmanthus, jasmine, and peach. And base notes of sandalwood, rose, and musk. So there's a lot going on in this fragrance. To me, I think it's giving a pear note too, which is not named in these fragrance notes. Now I saw a different batch of fragrance notes somewhere out in the world, but I don't know. But yeah, it's giving a lot of stuff. It's nutty. It's like, it's woody. It gives you that agarwood kind of thing, that base at the end. Yeah, it's the did I say sandalwood? Yeah, sandalwood, rose in the base. But yeah, it's giving all of that, and it's giving guidance. So if you want to try out a dupe for the fragrance, try this one out. Now, let me warn you, in the opening of this fragrance is not my favorite. It's not my favorite. But once the initial harsh opening settles down, the fragrance that you get in the mid and the dry down, it's giving what it needs to give. I sprayed this once on my bed sheets, my room, smelling like this. 3 sprays max. Listen, if you know, you know. But that wraps up my beast mode Middle Eastern fragrances of today. Of course, I'm not gonna leave y'all until I give y'all an encouraging word. I ain't gonna close y'all out until we get into this word, okay? So today's word is coming from Philippians 1:20, and that is, for I fully expect and hope that I will never be ashamed, but that I will continue to be bold for Christ, as I have been in the past. And I trust that my life will bring honor to Christ, whether I live or die. And what I want to say is that even with all the fragrances and all the stuff that I love coming on this channel. When we're talking about beast mode, we're talking about bold. I never want to get to a point where I'm more bold for these fragrances and beast mode for these fragrances than I am for Christ. Because at the end of the day, Christ is the one who loves me unconditionally. He loves me with a love that none of this world can replicate or give. And We came into this world alone. We're going to leave this world alone. We're not going to be able to take these fragrances with us. But I want each and every person to be able to, at the end of this life, meet the one that created them, meet their first love, meet the one that loves them more than anybody could ever know. So yes, this is a reminder to be bold, because if y'all looking at this world is going crazy. We need Christ more than ever. And if you do not know who Jesus is and you're interested in knowing, I just say a quick prayer. Just tell Jesus, Lord, I don't know if I'm rocking with you yet, but please, if you are real, if you hear me, just know that I want to get to know you. And if you're ready to commit to him, just let him know, Lord, I am a sinner, and I believe that you died and rose again for my sins, and I commit to you and I make you Lord of my life, and I believe that you are my Savior, and I am submitting to your Lordship. Now, I know that was a lot, and I'm looking at the camera and I'm seeing that it's warming up and it's about to blank out on me any second. But just remember the one who loves you the most, and that is Jesus Christ. And that is it for today. I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.